Good morning, Las Vegas.
Good morning from Panera, Italy. I thought of that as I walked into this lovely Italian cafe this morning.
Sorry, everybody. We got a little delayed. We were going to have a meeting in Boston area that got postponed, and poor Mr. Bonner here was already in the neighborhood, so
You
we had to identify a meeting location.
I just like to come early.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. So, guys, we don't know where we're going to look yet today. Um, But we were just exploring some cool like Pittsfield is getting expensive too, man. We saw three families for sale for $500,000, which is wild. People used to be like, "Hey, I'm not going to Worcester. There's no way I'm going to Springfield. There's absolutely no way I'm going beyond that to Pittsfield." It's like, how crazy
Where?
do you have to be?
Where's
Well,
Pittsfield?
where? Yeah, it's all the way over, other side of the state,
Basically
opposite
New York.
ends. Yeah, closer to Albany. Closer to Albany. But Harrison, what do we want to look for today?
Um, let's see. Let's see. Um, I'm scanning these towns. I drove through like 18 Massachusetts towns today. Like took me all back roads. It was much more enjoyable than the highway. Um, the back roads in Italy. Maybe maybe Franklin.
Okay, yeah, that's fun. We haven't looked at Franklin.
Franklin's a nice town. I'm trying to look for something we hadn't looked at before. Um, Franklin's a nice little town, and yeah, I looked at a house in Franklin for myself a long time ago. Okay, well, no flips ish, Uh, maybe there's multifamily there. Probably not many, to be honest. No multifamily in Franklin. Okay, maybe another town. Maybe Framingham. How about that?
Okay.
Framingham's a bigger town. 16 single families listed. Let's see what we got. Needs your final touches. This may be the one. Let's take a look.
You love
The
to find them with
landscaping.
big. You love to find them with big trees in front of them.
I know. Well, it's a sign that like if the yard's not taken care of, then the house probably isn't either.
Listen,
Um,
I still need to blow some
oh,
leaves.
thanks for this these amazing listing photos. Maybe we won't be underwriting this one today. Needs your final touches, aka it's gutted to the studs.
Right? Bring your vision and your checkbook.
Okay, what else do we have here? Maybe wonderful potential. Another good keyword, potential.
Hey, it comes with a ladder.
Comes with a fire escape. Well, this isn't a multifamily, so this makes no sense. Um, you know,
This looks too nice to have a random ladder.
maybe they were using it as a multifamily or something. It was like an illegal multifamily, and they sort of got away with it by putting a ladder up years ago.
It's, possible. But it looks like it doesn't need much to get it across the finish line.
No, I mean it's certainly charming.
This is paint and
Um,
refinish floors at this point.
yeah, refinished floors, tile in here. What's some other, I don't know what's going on with this, but some other cosmetic work. Looks like a bunch of rooms, which is common for these really old homes. Just a lot of rooms. Um, Needs a new bathroom. I hope this is the basement. These look like basement stairs.
But it's a walkout,
Yeah.
which means this would be, if that is the basement, that's great for finish that as your ADU. Turn this
Yeah.
into an extra unit.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's like to this area or something. Because there's a bulkhead.
Mm.
Mm,
We were
it's
just
actually
in
probably where that was.
we were just in Warwick yesterday, Rhode Island, for a our friend Kyle. They just any tiny homes. They just finished one of their first um, tiny home developments, and it was a separate standalone structure. And I think when we all think about tiny homes, we think of you know them being incredibly small, but it was basically another house, which you can build by right. And it was nice and it was lofted and it almost just looked like, the same size as half of the other houses in the neighborhood. Um, but it turned out really beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. It did. It was. I was going to say something about it, but I forgot.
Yeah, it
Too
was,
too
they
enamored by
converted, it
this
was
house.
basically like a room over a garage, like a standalone room over a garage that they were able to do. ADUs are going to be the future, man.
That's right.
Gonna be the
All right.
future. Love that.
What are you doing, this guy?
Yeah, let's do
Just
it. Let's keep.
trying to get a sense of its existing condition, but it uh looks to be like a pretty good one, I'd say.
We need this thing to be like a $750,000 house.
Yeah, it's much closer to Boston, um, so it's a possibility, I guess. But I mean, it's big, right? We're 2,900 square feet, includes third floor, which was small. Like these little tiny bedrooms. I don't. I guess that's counted as legal square footage.
Probably
Towards the
not.
back.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean they won't use it though.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not always about legal square footage, but how you can utilize it, especially in a single family. Well, this looks legal. Small rooms, but great for like an office or,
Kids.
yeah, kids. When they get a little older. When they're younger, you want them close by because you don't want to be hiking up and down the stairs to check on them 4 times a night.
You don't want to get your leg workout in.
No. Yeah, this must be the like back room, which could make a good. I don't know. You can make this. Like your like a gym area. Maybe the staircase is a little funky, makes for some awkwardness, I guess. But laundry is not there, but just storage, a lot of space in here. I wonder if this must be counted in the living square footage, but I don't know. It kind of looks like unfinished.
Yeah, it would serve as a good mud room.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it was off the looked like it was off the back. That I love photos today. I'm just keep scrolling. But they have a lot, thankfully, thanks to this agent who gave us a lot of photos.
All right, let's check it out. I'd
All
like to
right.
see. I'd like to see what this could potentially comp for.
Let's do it. $367 Elm. Okay, boom, boom. 1 mile. Contingent to an agreement sold. A lot of houses sold. I forget how many square footage what square footage we had.
2,900.
2,900. Okay.
Yeah.
Here, maybe let's edit this to be at least at least
24
2,000.
to 35.
Yeah.
32, 33.
There we go.
All right.
650, 750.
Hey.
6 bed, 3.5 bath. How many? Oh yeah, we had 7 beds, 2 baths. So yeah, a lot of bedrooms. Maybe convert one of them to another bathroom if it's close to another one.
We
So
need
you
another
can,
bathroom. That
yeah,
many
yeah.
people.
When you have 3 floors of living, if you're gonna have bedrooms on every floor, it would be ideal to have a bathroom on every floor, or
Totes.
like a ground floor, like guest bathroom, or outer. Like, I don't know if it's a half. It's probably not a half bath, but a ground floor, main bath, and top floor bath. Maybe find a way to convert one to a master bath. Probably going to want a master bath if you're going to try to get like 750.
That would be good. I think that would be money well spent.
Yeah, yeah. I
That'd be
mean, this
money
is
well
really
spent.
this is really nice, and honestly, isn't even like top of market quality. 775. This is a little bit of a different design, but this is even still like a little bit dated. Wow, 991. Okay,
Come on, we on the money here.
maybe this isn't that bad of a deal.
No, I'm
You're
telling you,
probably going to spend,
people keep saying there's no deals out there, and I say, are you looking?
right,
Are
right.
you looking?
This is probably like, I would add I would add some front steps here, give this a little bit more curb appeal. I would take this sort of barrier down and do more of a traditional railing with some more decorative columns. I'd spend a little bit more money on this single family than we would on a lot of the ones that we've seen recently. Probably in that like 150 range. But if you're into this for 650 and you're selling it for 800, it's maybe not quite the spread that we normally look for, 70 cents on the dollar, but it's what's our lot size too? Half acre lot. Okay. No acre lot. That makes no sense. It's got to be bigger than that. Yeah, this is a little bit more of an open layout. Not exactly a comp, and certainly wouldn't expect 991, but there is a market for clearly a $900,000 single family in Framingham.
Let's go.
Finished basement. So this is
Let's go.
probably 2,800 plus, plus finished basement. Oh no, 1,900 and then 2,800 including the basement. Wow.
There it is.
Newer construction. This was really nice. But not impossible to pull off something like this in the subject property we're looking at. Not impossible at all.
You can get it pretty far by refinishing floors and doing nice paint, skim coat, new fixtures, and then you just spend the bucks gutting the bathroom. You gut the kitchen, and you put out a high end product. You do some more curb appeal here. I think you're definitely right. At this
For
price
sure.
point, what's holding a lot of sometimes these homes back is like they look nice inside, but they look kind of blah outside.
Right.
And that's the first
Right.
thing everybody sees. It's like when you go to a restaurant, it's the first thing you notice, the parking lot.
Exactly. I wonder what this street is like. A little bit of a busier road, but I think that other one was on like the next street over. So
Ooh,
I was wondering
really
if maybe this
close.
was, yeah, I was wondering if maybe this was like yeah, it's right down the road. If maybe this street was like more of like a neighborhood, but not really. Probably getting about the same amount of traffic over here.
Put
Oh,
some
you can see someone developed, or like, I don't know if they flipped it, right, but they definitely remodeled it from the last time this photo was taken.
that'd be fun to take a peek at to see what it sold for.
Yeah, it's not look like that. We can do that too. Oh wait, no, I think there's property history on here, right? Oh no, just MLS history.
Yeah, you have to go into the public records and look at the sales.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, I mean, High ceilings. Second floor has 3 or 4 bedrooms, so I'd probably do like three. A primary bedroom has a full bath and walk-in closet. Okay, so I'm either adding another bathroom on the second floor or a bathroom on the third floor. But it's conditioned. Like you don't have to rip down every stud. You probably want to put in new windows. But if you're trying to get top of market, just because these are a little older, but they don't all match. If you're trying to sell something for like 850, 900,000, you're gonna
It's
want
one
something
of
like,
those.
yeah, you're gonna want your windows to be consistent. You're obviously gonna redo this. You're gonna take down the ceiling and redo it. As far as big ticket items go, like your electrical and your mechanicals, it's hard to tell exactly, but there's no basement photos, I don't think. But this is an older home, so it's gonna have that sort of that older home charm, that colonial chic, if you will. It's a new trend, which I personally really love. Much better than a modern farmhouse. But maybe in 5 years we'll be over colonial chic too. But, I mean, these doors are 100 years old. Someone's gonna really love these doors.
Totally. And honestly, like, you know, mixed reviews. I'd be interested to see what you guys think. Nick Swindle, clean the windows. Maybe shout out to Nick. Maybe you come clean these windows with us.
Yeah.
But
This looks like the
I'll
primary
be
with the bathroom.
I'll be interested to see if we go back to the grays. Remember when everybody was just painting everything gray? I mean, I think that's dead.
I hope it's dead.
And for good reason. And then everybody said the same. Before that, it was like beige, kind of beige and brown,
Yep.
tan colored. And now I think it's bold colors. I think you're kind of like you want to stand out. We're seeing textured wallpaper come back. Um, it's a fine line of trying to appeal to the masses without pigeonholing yourself, because sometimes buyers they can't see the vision. They can't imagine repainting or doing small things. So you got to appeal to the masses, but colonial chic, we call that,
Heard,
we call it when your floors creak, we call that character.
heard it here first.
Heard it here first.
I really like this house.
Yeah, dude. We found a couple houses you really like.
I know. I mean, it's charming. It's big. Um, you know, uh, if you're, I think 150,000 here goes a really long way. Or we're not breaking on a budget. Maybe one day we'll get um, one day we can. I think we should do. I can work on, open like we've got a bunch of like budget calculators and stuff that we've used in the past. Maybe we get one that we can quickly use for find that flip, so I can pull up another tab and like
Show the
punch in
numbers.
numbers. Yeah, show the numbers. We're learning as we go. Thanks for everyone's patience. But I think that'd be beneficial for anyone who's curious. You know why I'm pulling 150,000 out of my ass. It's not completely out of my ass, but it's years of experience.
I
Probably
always
somewhere in this
wondered.
range.
I always wondered back in the day when like we would walk around with, you know, some of our, mentors and people in the space, and like, how do you just know how much it's gonna cost? And he's like, I've been doing it a long time. You just can't let you can't you just gotta do 50 projects before you can tell. Like,
That's
okay.
right.
Okay, buddy. But it's true.
It is true. It is true.
Remember our first
Yeah,
our first budgets we would go through, and I mean you still spend time, right, when you go through and you zone in or you zoom in on a budget, and you spend a lot of
totally.
time like crossing your T's and dotting your I's. But man, those first initial ones, we'd spend all day trying to figure out a basic budget to get started. But
I
that's
know.
okay. If you want to get into real estate investing, one of the best things you can do is just literally go to open houses, walk properties, get a feel for them, talk to the talk to the listing agent, right? Network, get yourself a business card, Put it on there that you're a real estate investor, even if you've never invested in anything. Um,
No one needs to
Network,
know that.
get the nobody needs to know that, and get the feel for some of these properties. Ooh,
Right.
that's pretty.
Yeah, this is pretty. And this sold for 775, and it's not as updated as our subject property would be if we were to do something like that. I
But
don't think that.
I am partial. I am partial to those roofs.
Yeah, what the vaulted ceilings.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that 850 is out of the range for our house. There's not a comp in between. It kind of jumps up here. But I mean, this is 3 bed, 2.5 baths, a little more traditional, newer construction. When was ours built? 1887. Yeah, this is an old one. Those doors are original, but someone's really gonna love that. I really don't think that.
Yes, that's what I was. That's I got sidetracked. Oops, that's my brain for you. Uh, I'd be interested to see what people think about like refinishing the old vintage wood to the vintage wood. I think it's beautiful. Like wood is pretty to me. Sometimes remember when we sold a house in Brockton and it was like so pretty on the inside. And honestly, you couldn't tell the difference whether this was a home in Back Bay, Boston, or in Brockton. And I remember the buyer was like frustrated on the final walkthrough because we pre-sold it. Team HIC, Isabel, if you're watching, um, but like they were frustrated that we didn't replace all the trim, and we were like, lady, this vintage trim is $10 a square foot to replace. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you mean you prefer the $1.50 square foot? I can go buy at Home Depot.
right, or linear foot or whatever it is, but like just charm, and they just don't.
Yeah,
It's so expensive to put that kind of detail back right now. But I think it'll be interesting to see the future of real estate development because with more like machinery, and as engineering and technology makes things more affordable, I think you're going to start to be able to see like more ornate kind of milling and cornice work coming back, and kind of some of these new homes maybe achieving a bit more character up front as things are made more affordable. In the meantime, it's just so expensive to do anything in the state of Massachusetts. Building, you're talking like $250 a square foot almost anywhere you go. So you got to really maximize your impact unless you are super rich and you can afford to make everything fancy.
yep. Hold on, I'm looking up the public record of that other one.
Oh, cool.
Is this a code? There we go. Let's see. Oh,
Ahmed,
581.
Amber, Ross. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Look at that. It sold for 581, and then they sold it for 990.
How much did
Sold
wait, say that again?
sold for 581 6 months ago, and now they just sold it for 991.
Boys and girls. It's the
I don't
market.
think that. I think I don't think 900 is out of the range, and possibly even more for ours. I mean, this is right around the corner. A little bit of a different style, but you can certainly hit that level of finish quality.
That's
It's
what's
got
up.
vinyl. It's got vinyl siding. We probably have wood siding.
I think we have wood. I think we have
Yeah.
vinyl.
You think it's vinyl?
I think so.
I don't think so. Let's find
Dun,
out.
dun.
Let me go back. Now I want to know. I mean, this is new. This might go for more than 500. It's been on for one day.
Yeah, but that was our key to success when we were doing all those deals. Is if we were MLS warriors, but you were on there writing offers day one, always
Yep.
checking, moving fast. That's the name of the game.
Yep. If we wanted to be really aggressive on this and like pick this, and we're like, okay, we know, like if we knew this market really well, we were like, I can get 950. No, quite like I know, and we can, we had a budget put together in, an hour, right? And it, if they'll give you 525, 30-day close, no contingency, and you're the first one in, they might take it.
Right.
I mean, new gas heat in
Right.
2023, new gas hot water heater. So some things have been updated. 200 amp electrical in 2008. Roof windows 2008. Again, it looks like that roof maybe needs a little love. That's a little too old. They'll probably put a new roof on. Also add some curb appeal, believe it or not, especially when you can see the roof.
Right.
And you get a free piano.
And that cool lamp. Or that cool fixture. You got to hang
right.
you got to keep those two together. You got to stage them.
Yeah. I think there are no escalation clauses. Sounds like they're just going straight for highest and best.
What is it? Showtime to get in?
Yeah.
Let's go take a look. You're pretty close, yeah?
Yeah, not too far.
All right. Boys and girls, this was a great episode of Find That Flip. Mr. Muhammad, thank you for checking us out. We do this almost every day. We'll be on tomorrow, approximately 9 a.m., pending no funny disturbances to our schedule or travel. But yeah, we're checking out these deals, what's available here in Massachusetts. Wollaston Real Estate Investments, we buy them cheap, we buy them ugly, we renovate them, and then we work to sell them for a profit or hold them for a period of time. Investors inside of the Wollaston Wealth Management Fund can participate in our investments with us and take a lion's share of the profits. So there's opportunities to get involved if you don't want to swing the hammers and do the legwork yourself. But everybody, it's good to see you. It's good to have you. Thanks for checking us out. Alex and Harrison, your Wollaston Real Estate Investing Bros. We'll see you mañana. That's tomorrow in Spanish. If you didn't learn anything from this, Find That Flip, you learned a new word. So onwards and upward. Have a wonderful Thursday.
All right. Adios.
Bye. Ciao. That's enough.
That's good.